Hello friends, this is a most important video from my point of view because this will help you and guide you how you should draw your long-term strategy for achieving business excellence using digital. Today everybody is looking at it for moving to digital, but they don't have a clarity from where to start, how to start, what are the factors to be considered, who are the team members or the stakeholders to be involved, which technology should be adopted and all that. So I'm trying to give you an overview or some guidelines or some ideas how that strategy can be drawn. So let's look at it. Very specifically, I am looking at it based on my last 35 years experience, how the business things are moving. Because technologies are moving very fast, but acceptance of the technology, adoption of the technology, and arriving at the expected business results, this whole process is very slow. So I am looking at it this as a 5 years plan. This is not based on to my experience, but somewhere some companies may reduce it, more it, and all that actually. So it all depends upon how you adopt to it and how your team support it and all that. So I'm trying to show it the year wise and all that actually. So in the first year, what really you should focus it out is your operational efficiencies. Like in every process, whether it's in the procurement, stores, quality, production, it is you have challenges. You are trying to improve that process and get the best efficiency. When you move to the second level, it's a demand driven. Like when I say a demand driven, it's each process has got a certain expectation. Now, whether it's a production or if you take it as another quality, the demand is that analysis should be done in some specific time or something like that. So there is a demand, and but it is restricted to a specific process. So what you should really look at it in a second year is that optimize that process, that timing you should really be able to reduce it at all. But when you move to the next third year, you should really look at it. It is depending upon, it is connecting the various demands, from the entire processes. So when we are looking at a seamless integrations and all that, so it is depending upon earlier process and the next process. So you are trying to improve and see that the demand driven enterprises has been developed. Then you move to the next year, fourth year, you are then expecting it is now a market driven, because finally everybody is looking at it to improve the market, improve the customer satisfaction, offer the good quality. So how that market is moving and how that market processes expectations are supported. And finally, that goes to the digital supply chain. So I'm making it in a 5 steps. I'm showing it as a year-wise, but depending upon your organization, capabilities, readiness, culture, you can have a maybe 2 years to 5 years process timings and all that. The next parameter which I'm considering is the cost reduction. Today, everybody is looking at it just a cost reduction. I want to reduce my quality cost. I want to reduce my manufacturing cost, and I want to reduce my distribution cost and all that. That's the objective today. But when you move to the next year, you have to really see that how I will improve the operation. Okay, cost is a consideration, but improving the operation automatically brings the cost reduction also, but the process efficiency is also. So you have to really look at it. It could be a procurement process, quality process, planning process, or something like that. And then when you move to the next year, it will have a improved material flow. Then you move next layer, actually it will build a complete end-to-end supply chain. And finally, the last year, in the last step, you use adopt digitization, which is really taken into consideration all real-time changes as per the market demand. So these are the different steps or stages. As you go on adopting it, you go on improving it and all that. So this is how that 5 years plan is been seen. The next one is focus on to efficiency. As I mentioned it earlier, also operational efficiency is there. So the focus in the first year is on just onto the efficiency, but then you have to really second year you have to look at it for the process flow, and then you have to move towards demand support, and then you have to look at it for integrating demand and supply, and then finally it has to be a demand driven system. It should be an integrated solution and all that. Another parameter which I am looking at it, or as I mentioned in similar thing, is initially you are looking at it for individual processes, but then you have to really slowly build up that whole culture into the organization or even in the business processes also, that there is more of an integration. But what I see is that normally in all present organization, they think about the integration, but always focus on to the inventory or the material movement, which slowly has to go on sharing the data into a supply chain. Because when I say supply chain, it also gets integrated with the customer demand and demand planning and all that. So the market demand has to really get supported and all that. And this is where it is to go on moving, and then in the last stage you have to really have a entire truly digital supply chain with supporting it to a smart manufacturing. The last parameter which I want to discuss it over here is all present systems are most onto the silo based. Actually, they are all independent, like inventory is separate, quality is separate, manufacturing is separate, distribution is separate, maybe financials is separate and all that. So when I start looking at it, you have to build up your vision, you have to build up your map or strategy, that your material requirement planning and distribution required planning have to really start looking and developing the interfaces. And that will lead slowly to enterprise solutions and then to a supply chain. When you start moving to a supply chain integration, you start adopting to this emerging technologies like moving data to cloud, developing the artificial intelligence so that analytics is available and all that. And then maybe adopting IoTs to capture the real-time data. So this is where in the next year you can, or the next last phase, you can have a digital supply chain with a smart manufacturing. And that will lead to your industry 4. So what I'm going to show it to you, how you can draw a complete long-term strategy of building up this thing and achieve the end-to-end integrated digital supply chain. So this is the most important thing, and I'm quite sure you will definitely require a lot of further help and more inputs onto each and every parameters which I mentioned it over here. So feel free to contact us. We are always available to you, and our consultancy division will help you to work with you. Please do share your suggestions, comment, and subscribe the channel so that you will get more information regularly. Our contact details are over here. Thank you. Bye.